Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to World of Tanks Blitz, and today very happy to be doing a review of the MS1. Yes, finally it's back. To do it, all you had to do was get 15 wins over 3 days and you would unlock the MS1. Or you could pay a bit of gold and just get it, but obviously if you're active and you're winning 5 battles a day for over 3 days, which was it was over like 2 weeks you had to do that, and you could get the MS1. So MS1's everywhere right now. But here it is, finally it's back. Maybe they'll start adding back, you know, the LOL tractor, the Renault FT, but who knows. But here it is, it's now tier 2. They didn't reinstate it as a tier 1 tank, unfortunately. They didn't stick it back where it should be, which is down here, unfortunately, but hey, it's tier 2 now instead. How about that? So yeah, it is a collector's vehicle, so there's basically no modules, nothing to upgrade. 435 HP, which I do have improved construction on, or improved assembly rather, which means without that it goes down to 410. And 410, well, let's have a look at something like the Tetrarch 424 with improved assembly, something like the Micro Mouse, which has got 400. It's definitely not the greatest in terms of HP, but compared to a lot of other tanks of the tier, it's alright. If we compare it to its closest competitor, the BT2, the BT2 gets 410 HP, so it's got the same as the BT2. So you're not really losing out much in terms of HP wise with the MS1. Armour, yeah, 25 frontal turret, 18 side, 16 rear, 25 frontal hull, 16 side and rear. Armour is not really great. I mean, you can kind of bounce things occasionally, if you're lucky, off of the front. If you've got it angled a particular way, you can kind of bounce it because it's sloped. But generally, 25 mil of armor, it's not great. Tetrarch, yeah, that's not a good comparison. Nor is the medium 2 I was about to click on. Cruiser 1, 14, 14, 14. The D1 is probably the closest you'll get. 39 frontal turret, 30 frontal hull. Again, if we compare it to the BT2, its closest living relative, we've got, what, 35 frontal turret and 30 frontal hull. So it's worse than the BT2, but then again, it is only tier 2. Armour is pretty much meaningless. Only really French tanks and their derivatives know anything about armour. Everything else is, yeah, not that great. Mobility-wise, though, 30 kilometers per hour, average speed, 14.8 power to weight ratio, does have a nearly 50 degree hull traverse rate and a 38 degrees per second turret traverse with a 84 horsepower engine. Bearing in mind I do have engine accelerator on, which does increase its top speed slightly and its power to weight, but generally we're looking at about 14 power to weight, looking at around 30 average speed, and yeah, like 36 hull traverse, which compares pretty favourably. Not in terms of top speed, power to weight though, but Tetrarch, very mobile, probably a bad comparison there. But what about something like T1E6? Sort of about the same hull traverse, but you know, not the greatest in comparison though. What about the BT2? Surely BT2, what horsepower engine does this thing have? 350 horsepower engine, yeah, okay. But surely it beats the Micro Mouse. Yes, okay, good. It beats French tanks at least. Even so, mobility-wise, it's still pretty decent. We're looking at a lot of like proper light tanks though. These are British cruiser tanks. You've got, you know, the BT2, which is a crazy fast, like a 60 kilometers per hour like tank. What about the medium 2? Medium 2, yeah, it's better than the medium 2 at least. So yeah, not the greatest. Then again, not the slowest, not the most sluggish. You'll probably feel it whilst driving, but still nearly 50 degrees per second hull traverse, still very good. Turret traverse, 38 degrees, could be better. It's all down to the engine power really in terms of its average speed, which is a slight problem, but even so, You can work around it. It's not the worst. It's only tier 2. Don't forget. The gun 45mm mod 1932. 0.36 dispersion. Bearing in mind I do have refined gun on, it's 0.4 accuracy, which is terrible. Aim time 2.4 seconds is good. DPM 696. Bearing in mind again that I do have gun rammer on, which does help with the reload time, does help with the DPM. DPM goes down to about what's that? About 640-ish. Compared to something like the Tetrarch, which has got 647, so it's got about the same DPM as a Tetrarch. It's going to have better than the medium, surely. Yeah, better than the medium. What about the Cruiser with its 40mm pom-pom? 706. Okay, the magazine's helping it out there. Same with this thing. Better than the Micro Mouse though. Yeah, it's about the same as the Micro Mouse. So you're looking at sort of average DPM. Again, if we compare it to the BT2's Top Gun, which is the 20K, which is another 45mm, DPM-wise 275, so it loses out again in terms of DPM on the BT2, but the B3 gun it does at least beat. So yeah, gun not too bad, but again, it's tier 2. What can you really expect? These tanks don't know much about anything other than gotta go fast. They are speed. That's what they mostly have going for them, or in terms of the actual tank destroyers, the gun, and in the case of the medium 2, not even really the gun. But yeah, this thing, it is at least a very small, low-profile tank, about the same size as the Tetrarch, which is useful. Does mean that it does have decent enough camo. Same as like the Light 6. Again, camo-wise, pretty good. I do have one of the legendary camos on, well, one of the epic camos rather. I've got this thing, the Winning Way, which you get from the crates, and again I do have Triumphant Return as well because I got that from a crate. I really want this camo, I really do, but you can only get it from crates. And if I show you this, there it is, may contain 1926 camo, but you want to know the drop rate, 1.11%. I've probably opened about coming up to 30 crates I've opened, and I've had 2 of these epic camos, 1 of the basic camo, and I've not got a glimpse of the legendary camo, which is a shame. I really want the legendary camo, but I'm not buying any more crates. So hopefully this camo will come back at some point and I can get it, but as it stands I can't get that, unfortunately. But the other camos, they're decent enough. I'm not too sure about the two-tone colour camo here, but Triumphant Return at least is alright looking. As for consumables, multi-purpose restoration pack, that's all you get at tier 2. Same with the ammo, you only get armor piercing. 90 rounds of it, which is enough to get you through a battle. I mean, the Tetrarch with a similar DPM only has 50, but then again it does do more damage per shot. T1E6 has got 80. The cruisers have got 160, which is alright. 80 for the medium too, so yeah, 90 rounds should be enough to get you through the battle. What's the reload time on this? Reload time, yeah, it's looking at around a 5-second reload, which you're not really going to be able to burn through enough ammo to run out during a battle, even if you are firing constantly. So, yeah, 90 rounds, easy enough. Gun rammer. In fact, actually, we didn't even look at the pen. Didn't even look at the pen of the gun. 55 pen with armor piercing. Sorry, 55 average damage, 51 average pen with armor piercing, which is enough to get you through tier 2s and tier 3s. You can get through a D1, you can get through a Panzer S35, Panzer 38H, you can probably also get through the S35 as well though. Let's be fair, yeah, you can probably get through this thing. With 51 mils, yeah, you can get through the hull pretty easy. Panzer 3s are going to be your bane. I mean, they're the bane of everyone at this tier, aren't they? With 54 frontal hull, thanks to the add-on armor package that's on it. Panzer 3s are, yeah, they're just the bane of everyone. But most, well, a fair amount of the tier 3s you can get through from at least close and possibly medium range. So yeah, penetration easy enough. in which case gun rammer is going to be more helpful to you. Calibrated shells will get you up to 54mm of armor piercing, which even at point blank isn't enough to get through a Panzer III. So you might as well just go with gun rammer, get the DPM and the reload time up and down respectively. Improved modules for the extra tank durability. As you can see, Trank's pretty much covering like half the size of the tank, so yeah, you're gonna want the improved modules. It does decrease the damage from ramming. It is tier 2 after all. A lot of people will be ramming because they're just in such fast light cruiser and light tanks that they're going to be ramming people a lot, so you know that's going to be helpful. Coated optics, I mean, Camo net is pretty much useless at this tier other than on tank destroyers. You're a light tank. Everyone at this tier is a light tank, bar the few mediums, which means coated optics is going to be far more useful to you, raise your view range up. You don't need enhanced gun lane drive. 2.4 seconds is a very fast aim time, so you don't need enhanced gun lane drive. I'd say go for supercharge. It increases your shell velocity and decreases that penetration loss over distance. Going to be very useful, especially against tier 3s, considering you do not have APCR or any sort of premium ammo. So supercharge is going to be more useful. And again, improved assembly as well. You don't know the concept of armor. It is, after all, tier 2. You are an MS1. Improved assembly for the extra HP is going to be more useful to you. As is engine accelerator. Get that power to weight slightly up, give you an extra 1 kilometers per hour average speed. It does also increase your engine power up from 80 to 84. Everything is going to be more useful to you. It's going to be better than just getting improved control, whilst you do get to above 50 degrees per second hold reverse. Engine accelerator overall is just a better choice for this tank. And then refined gun, look at that. Decreases your dispersion by 0.04, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when it's taking it from 0.4 to 0.36, 0.36 is at least semi-acceptable for any tank. So refined gun is going to be far more useful. And then probably enhanced tracks, although I mean it doesn't really matter at this tier, and the same with whatever the hell those two things are. So overall, the MS1, you can only get it in this limited time event so far. We don't know if in the future they're going to re-release it at some point. Hopefully they do, with the legendary camo. But if you can get a hold of it, do. It's very easy to get a hold of. You're going to be seeing them a lot still currently because the thing's still going. But yeah, it's a great tank to see back. Obviously I would have preferred the LOL tractor back or something, just because the LOL tractor has that 30mm gun that it had, which was very good. Was it 30? No, it was a 37mm, 3.7 centimeter gun. And it was you know, the LOL tractor. But you know, it's wargaming. They're going to, if they were going to give us back a tank, it was going to be the MS1. The FT also would have been nice to see back with that six shell magazine fed 25mm cannon. Would have loved to have seen that back, but yeah. Unfortunately, no, only the MS1 so far. Maybe they'll bring back the others. Who knows? But if you can get a hold of it, do. It's not the greatest tank at tier 2, but then again, it is only tier 2. Very few things stand out other than some tank destroyers and a couple of other standout tanks. But yeah, it's a nice nostalgia thing, reminding us of the good old days before update 5.5. And so yeah, that is the MS1. I'll thank you all for watching, and goodbye.